Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Starseed Academy. These are the weekly gatherings and Pleiadian channelings. Today's date is the 7th of February, 2026, and it is 7:42 p.m. here in Ireland. I don't know where the last half an hour has gone, but welcome, everyone. This evening we're joined by Susan, Emily, Amira, Eric and Seth, also myself, Soma Ara, and Dennis as well. Um, so the world has certainly changed since 2019, hasn't it? Um, yeah, I feel like I just want to go into the channeling. So Dennis is going to join us and he will begin with the prayers. And let's see what happens. I'm just going to move this camera. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We were just getting organized there. Um, I actually need to get some water. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So we're just going to wait for Susan to come back in. Okay. So, um, yeah, I just feel like I want to. Hello, dear. We are live. Not well, we're not live, but we are recording. So, if you don't want your camera to be on, then please, if you don't want to be seen on social media, then please keep your camera off. Dennis is about to do the prayers, and I'm going to go straight into channeling. Okay, so I'll let Dennis take over.
Uh, Hello. I'm going to say some short prayers. The first is called the Law of One prayer. And I will say it and repeat it a few times.
No.
We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, with Mother, Father, God, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. And a simple and powerful I am mantra or prayer. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. All right. Someone will channel now soon.
When you say when you're in channeling time.
I will.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Good evening. We are delighted to be here this evening. We come in with the energy of Jesus this evening, with the energy of powerful, self-empowerment. Can you just move that mic closer to me, Tim? Your individual missions, purpose, reason for being on your planet at this time is to take control of yourselves and your own lives and your sovereignty and your light, and to expand your consciousness, your awareness, your ascension process. It is to take back the power in your own hands and run with that ball of light that is internal, the Christ consciousness, the divine spark, the inner source or the God source of I am. That is all of your missions. That is humanity's purpose at this time on your planet, is to rise up, to step into a higher frequency, a higher dimension, a higher timeline, a higher awareness, to become more expanded, to become more empowerful, to take back your power that you unknowingly gave away little by little by little by little by the negative agenda tiptoeing and taking control and manipulating and gathering resources, becoming more resourceful. That is what your mission on Earth is. And we include Eric in this, as they were asking questions previously and seeking outside of themselves when everything really is an inside job. It is not about seeking outside help, but this is your question is huge, Eric, because this is about humanity as a whole waking up to their own power. This is not a small question. This has far-reaching effects and implications. When you discover that you are more powerful than anything outside of yourself, simply because you are existing. That is where your true power lays. This is a journey. There are very few that have mastered this, who are in physical bodies on your planet. Because once you master this, you no longer need to be in a physical body on Earth. That is why you are on Earth in a physical body, to master this. And once that is accomplished, you then simply have no need to be on your planet. There are powerful sacred sites on your planet that once contained, once were activated, would be more accurate. Once were activated and held a more crystalline vortex energy of we would call it technology. That may not be how you would describe it, or how Soma would describe it, maybe as a higher energy or a sacred site, being a special place that holds sacred energy, but we would simply call it technology for now, that was placed above the pyramid. Whenever we show Soma this, it looks like a blue ball of light, or like electricity, somewhat. These were deactivated and cut off at some point in your history. These are due to be turned back on and reactivated and realigned, illuminating your planet. We would like to use the words like never before, but that would not be true. Because they were activated previously, they were ignited. These energy sources were turned off by what we call, and so Soma calls, the negative energy, the negative powers that be. Oh, thank you. So these switches, these energy devices will be realigned and turned on again. And this blue ball of energy that we often show Soma does not actually touch the top of the pyramid point. It is rather above it. Hovering. There are alignments, star alignments that are coming up that are very important. And we would like to say that April is important to do with that. Soma does not understand or know astrology, but April is an important astrology to do with realignments. It would be good for you to work with crystals. When you are doing your sacred work, Susan, and we share that with all of you, bring out the crystals from wherever they are. We showed Soma this a few days ago, let's say. Put them in your water put them in your food containers, such as your fridges. Bring them out of the cupboards. Air them in the moonlight or the sunlight. Cleanse them. Repurpose them. Remove. Rearrange them. We would say add them to your water. We would also say to revamp your food stocks. What we are showing, we're not wording it very well, or Soma's not wording it very well, but what we are showing her is to revamp is the closest word we can find. Revamp your crystals, reignite them, incorporate them into cleansing your water and remedies as well, natural herbs and plants. Put them into your oils that you use for cooking. Step up your health. Incorporate more remedies. Organic, natural foods. Look to there will come a time on your planet when when people in certain areas will need to look to the land outside to sustain themselves. This is not to put fear into anyone. It is simply a reminder that your planet, your weather system, and you are vulnerable to outside forces and outside attacks and targets. And then we go back to saying what we began at the beginning with, that you are powerful beings. Once you realize this, the game is over for the negative agenda when they have no control over you as sovereign beings who know that you are part of the great I am, who begin to take your power back more and more and more and more. And this is a process for you, a journey. And it is not just for you individually, but it is a collective. We are not here to do it for you. We're not here to do it for you. In some way, we are not allowed to do it for you. This would disturb and disrupt the universe's karmic balance somehow. We want to remind you that April is important this 2026. We've said that just now. The Earth will be realigning again. This is done in processes, in steps, as you are also processing and moving slowly in what we would call baby steps. We always wish to be of assistance. We are always assisting you, some more than others. The ones we channel through, we are very physically present. Some of you are playing this game like Soma has in the past, not so much these days, but some of you are playing the game of looking outside of yourself for someone to help you. That is okay. That is part of your journey. It is part of your journey because it allows you to come to the realization that it is you that are here to save you. There is no savior, not us, not Jesus, not God himself or herself or God's source is a savior. None is a savior except you, because you are us. You are us. We are you from the future. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what that means? We are you from the future. It means that you get to ascend. What we've just said is of huge importance for people to know and understand that all is perfect on your planet for you to ascend. You would not be ascending or in the ascension process without the negative agenda, without the voiced skull, what Soma calls the voiced skull, without the negative targeting that she gets, and so many of you get, most especially when you are asleep on the dream time or astral plane, that Soma calls it. When you are unconscious and out of body, you become an easy target because you are out of your body and on the astral somewhere. This, when you are in that state, it is easy to be implemented. It is easy to be targeted. It is easier to be targeted. It is easier to have implants placed into your physical bodies at that time. We are here to assist you. We are not here to do it for you. We cannot do that because if we do it for you, it affects our own evolution in the past. We are not allowed to. We do not want to do it for you. We want to watch you grow up and move into a higher dimension, a higher frequency, and become us. You are us, and we are you from the future. And we mean that in a very physical way. A physical soul, or a soul in a physical body, thank you. A soul in a physical body can have several soul aspects that are living on other planets or star systems or elsewhere in different timelines, in different time periods, in the past, present, and future, in all directions. And when we say all directions, we mean up, down, left, and right. And when we say up, down, left, and right, or north, south, east, west, when we say that, we mean timelines. We mean galaxies, universes, dimensions, spirit worlds, astral plane, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D. There is no end really to the different dimensions until you get to the God source. Many of you speak of the seventh dimension up to the 12th or 13th dimension, but there is an infinite number of dimensions. There is an infinite number of timelines. There is an infinite number of you. There is an infinite number. There is no end to God's source or expansion or infinite number or consciousness or frequency or dimensions or ascension, or you are in a ever expanding, endless process of ascension that affects us and everything else within the universe and universes and multiverses. We are not alone in this universe, and neither are you. The universe is teeming with life. We've said this many times. You are consciousness itself. You are God's source itself. You are infinite beings. Do you know that you carry the Christ consciousness within you? It is something you are born with. And yet, in your school system, teaches you something else. Do you know that you are God's source itself? Do you know how loved you are? Do you know how sacred and divine? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know do you know that so many of you that come to sit with Soma, that come to sit with us, have had past life with Jesus and the Essenes? We will share something with you that we just a few seconds ago we shared with Soma that we have not said before. Jesus was well traveled, and we just shared with Soma that this man, we use the word man very loosely, this being that had somewhat of a physical body on your planet, traveled to many places on your earth. Such as Antarctica, such as Native America, such as Egypt, such as Africa, such as Ireland, such as the UK. He was a well-traveled man, and he did not travel alone. He traveled with his wife, and he traveled with his children. And as he traveled, he taught. And as he taught, we do not like to use the words gathered a following, but he built momentum. Oh. Oh. And had great impact on your planet, had great impact on humanity at the time. He was what Soma would call a hybrid, half human, half galactic, half us. There will be devastation on your planet. Soma does not like that word. There will be changes on your planet. We've often mentioned the 6 months, and we've been saying it for a while. But your Earth is shifting back onto her natural axis. Oh. Those who do not hold a higher frequency that are compatible with ascension or moving into a higher dimension will be swept away, will be so much trying to be very cautious with our words. Your Earth was deliberately placed off her natural axis thousands of years ago. And this was a cruel thing to do. And she felt it because your Earth, your stars, your planet, your suns, your moons are living beings, are living structures or entities. They are not dead. They are not dead. They are huge and massive structures that have been deliberately put into place, you could say, by God's source. Some of them. There are, of course, exceptions such as the moon, which is not now a natural structure, but once was. Or rather, the previous was natural, or is still natural. There are more than one moon. There is more than one moon. But your Earth, let us go back to what we were saying. Your Earth was deliberately, with very negative emotion and by negative beings, negative ET energies, deliberately and happily caused a great destruction on your planet thousands of years ago. And they moved the Earth off its natural axis by sending in a large object. Large is too small of a word. But this object caused great destruction to your planet. In fact, it was not the only object, which is news to Soma, or new information to Soma, because we've always said this to her previously, there was one large object. And yes, there was one large object, but there were several other smaller objects as well. And there is evidence of these hitting your planet, leaving gaping holes or impacts, craters, impacts. This was an evil thing to do. In Soma's words, it was an evil thing to do. In our words, it was an evil thing to do to your planet, to cause such destruction. And when this occurred, you became distraught. This occurred around the same time that your DNA was changed. Because the two coincided, you began to lose memory. You began to forget yourselves and who you were, who you are, that you are sons and daughters of God. You have the very DNA, the very blood of Jesus Christ running through your veins, some more than others. And Jesus did absolutely have children and a lineage to continue. But we would say, we would add to that, that you are born of Christ. We are speaking to and of the starseeds that carry that higher frequency, higher vibration. You too came from the stars, which was where Jesus or Yeshua came from. He was a hybrid, as starseeds are. He was different, as starseeds are. His blood, his DNA, his skin, his very essence was different, as yours is. Bear with us. When the earth was knocked off its natural axis deliberately, this was an evil occurrence. It affected you. It affected your memory, your cosmic alignment. Thank you. It affected your cosmic alignment. And because the earth was put off her natural alignment, it affected your cosmic alignment. Do you understand what we are saying? Do you know how deeply connected to the earth you really are? You are 90% water. You have tree DNA. Do you understand what that means? You are stardust and born of planets, suns, moons, star systems. You are starseeds. You are stardust. Forgive Selma for mispronouncing or saying the wrong word. You are stardust, and stardust is planets, includes planets, suns, moons. Your earth was adapted to your Earth was adapted to become more habitable for you. That is a very simple thing that we sometimes say, but there is a book that could be written about that by itself. That your Earth was adapted for you. What does that mean? Well, that means that your Earth was once very different to how it is now. Very different. The size was different. The air was different. The nature was most certainly different. You were different. Animals were different. Everything on your Earth, on your planet, was different. Similar, but different. Your oceans were different. Your land was different. What we are explaining is important. We want to go back to the point of what we are saying. It was devastating when your Earth was knocked off her natural axis. She is coming back to realign herself into a better position, a better state, a better realignment. She is realigning herself. As we've said before, that let us explain this and then we will take a short break. As we know, some of you are becoming busy in your minds. Our point is that the Earth is moving back to her natural axis. She is kind of mirroring what was deliberately put into place by negative beings previously, or rather she is reversing, thank you, rather she is reversing the trajectory that she was forced upon, which was devastating. And because it was so devastating, she is mirroring that energy back to those beings that caused her situation to become out of alignment. That is a natural law, and it cannot be changed. She is mirroring back the devastation to them, meaning that their karma is coming. This is new information to Soma. We have not said this in this way before. In fact, Soma doesn't think that we have said it before to her at all. In this way, at least. What we are saying very simply or very with clarity is that the negative ET energies will be facing their karma, and a lot of it will be done when the Earth does shift back to her natural axis, because the effect of what they did at that time when they changed the course of the Earth, the natural axis of the Earth, will be mirrored back to them instantly, and they will largely be removed from your planet at this time. And this is coming in the 6 months this year. Soma is questioning us as we are speaking. The
That's
6
what I'm
months,
talking about.
the 6 months with a question mark, Soma is saying to us as we are speaking. This will not be the only month. This will not be the only year. There has already been devastation on your planet with weather, with earthquakes, with tsunamis, with 100 other different scenarios or situations or weather or earth eruptions, lands moving, lands being swept away. There are other to come. There may even be more than one major event or situation that involves volcanoes, involves earthquakes, involves the earth to shudder. As she moves back to her natural axis, let us end by saying that the energy that caused her to, this is very important what we are saying, the energy and the beings that caused her to be put off her natural axis will be mirrored back the devastation that they caused in a very direct way. And as we are speaking, we are showing Soma an image of them being propelled or blasted out into space. And we are showing her rocks and large rocks in space. And they are being removed from the earth. So the devastation that the earth was caused because of the negative ET beings will be mirrored back to them or expelled out or returned, thank you, returned to them with as much devastation as they caused the earth. And they will be removed from your planet. Completely. We are not going to say when or where or how, but this is part of it. We want you to understand that you are the strongest of the strongest. We never intend to put fear. We never want to put fear. But our information that we share regarding weather and your earth and your planet and you is important. The fear that you may feel during our transmissions should be dealt with wisely. And you should eliminate that fear of what is to come or of what we are saying if you have it. It is only in relaying the information that we are wanting to do. So we will pause there and we will take a break and allow Soma and yourselves some refreshments.
So Emily, you want to re-ask your question?
It's her time.
Oh, was that my question? Yeah, I was asking if
Why is the sound so low?
my sound is low.
No, the sound. Did you turn it down?
You sound normal to me. It's loud and clear.
Okay. It could be just be me. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, my question a minute ago was just if the Grand Canyon was hit by the large object that was hurled to Earth and knocked her off her axis.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah. And Dia, you were
But
saying
please
about,
do ask, but Emily, please do ask that in the channeling, because like with a lot of this stuff, especially that kind of stuff that they were talking about tonight, like I don't know.
yeah.
Like, but when I'm in the channel, they do come forward with the answers.
Well, it's always possible that you've had that in a previous session with someone, but okay, I understand. That's fine. I'll save it for another time.
Okay. And it is possible, I've said it before in a channeling, because I don't remember most of the stuff that they say in the channelings. So it's possible sometimes, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
And then Dia, you were talking about the boulders.
Well,
That was
you had brought
interesting.
it up that what was it that was seen going into space when, how did you phrase the question, when the energy comes back to them?
That was but that was
Tenfold.
the channeling
Tenfold.
information was mirrored back to, oh, what?
Right.
What were you saying? I'm sorry, I was talking with you.
No, you
Oh,
were,
catapulted?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh. But I think that was Soma that was saying that they'll be catapulted out. Right? They'll be turned to boulders first. Is that what you were saying, Soma?
No, I was seeing boulders and large rocks, being kind of blasted out from the earth into space. And then I was also seeing those negative ET beings being blasted out as well. And I saw them on the left and the rocks kind of in front of me and to my right.
You know, if that's how World War III manifests, that will be justice.
It's justice plus it's tenfold. I really saw that everything will be returned to them tenfold. They will absolutely get their comeuppance, their karma. They don't get to do, they don't get to, I can feel myself going into a channeling again, but they don't get to do what they've done without a karmic return to them. They do not get to do that. Do not get to do that.
Yeah, that's good. The law of the universe should be applied everywhere. So it's good. It took a long time. It's taken a long time to get to that point, but you know, we'll take it.
And then we've completed with my question about will they be turned into rocks themselves? Because I had heard that they will have to start over.
Yeah, that's where the answers that I was getting very interesting, because what I have seen over the last couple of years is I have seen images on the internet of large rocks that look like giants, indescribably look like giants, very detailed. So, and I do believe it is possible. I don't know what the Pleiadians would say or Ashtar, but I'm very led by them. My belief, a lot of my belief system comes from them, so I'm sure that those are accurate. I don't know if the image, the rocks, the images, I'm not sure if they are all accurate, but I know that Michael Tellinger has done some work on fossilized rocks and things and has said that somehow, and I'm sure he does describe the science behind it somehow, but he has come out and publicly said that a lot of these fossilized remains or remains are not as old as we are told at all. So your question, dear, I find fascinating, because if they are turned into rocks, it's because of what they've done. And it leads me to think of those large rocks and giants that have been fossilized, and the large trees that have been hidden or blended in to appear to be mountains. And that there is a huge amount of fossilized life that has been, there's stories in the Bible of things being turned to stone.
Yeah,
And
Lot's wife, right?
yeah, and I highly believe that they have the technology to turn things to stone. So I find your questions fascinating, and I would love to do more channeling on that subject. What do you think, Dennis?
Yeah, I can speak on this.
Did I put the camera
on? Fine.
Yeah.
So there is infinity, and what does not exist is eternity, because eternity has with it the idea of sameness, of being a constant, and that's an illusion. But infinity exists, and all those beings who are involved in conducting and creating and planning tyranny, destruction, pain, torture, and abuse on the planet, of course, there will be consequence for their action. It is just part of cosmic law, and that mightn't be seen to come about immediately, but it is unavoidable. Now, all these beings that carry out such darkness or evil, they are, in essence, individual I am presences. They are spirit. They are a consciousness which is fractal of source. And spirit creates. The divine creates. It is not created. So, in essence, none of you, none of us are created. What gets to be created is the things in the physical plane. So we can create bodies and planets, we can create minds, we can create etheric bodies, we're involved in all these creations. Ourselves and others are involved in these creations. But what doesn't get created is one's essence,
or soul?
One's unique beingness, one's I amness, one's you-ness. That is not created. And the Pleiadians say, oh, you are us in the future. And I find that a funny line, because I can say to the Pleiadians, I am you in your past. Because what's created? Time is created, matter is created, and we exist before that with source. So, going back to the issue, I don't know if I've made that clear enough, but those who create evil have the consequence of it. And so they can expect to, they don't get destroyed. They don't get to stay in a condition forever and eternity, but they have an infinity of time to speak, to learn, to make reparation, to heal their trauma, to make amends, to come to the light, to become part of the Source Project. And that is for every being. And so we have some famous baddies in our universe. And we've got characters like Hitler and Idi Amin and whoever, we can big baddies. And then you've got bigger baddies. One of the really bigger baddies is Satan or Lucifer. It's hard to pick a bigger baddie than that, been around a long time, against the light and source and working against it. Well, whatever characters were playing those parts, whatever characters had those titles, that was a long time ago. And there's nothing totally fixed. So I would expect that whatever entities, beings, angels, archetypes, I don't deny these existed. Whoever had these roles of being so disruptive, of being so anti-source, of causing so much dissonance and evil, well, they have had since then to now. And I expect there's none of those characters who are still in the dark. I don't expect it. But we go, but look at the world, and I'm religious and I know Satan exists and Lucifer exists. Yes, no doubt. Don't argue with it. But do not consider it's the same being. There are plenty of volunteers. Can't you see that?
The same being as what?
It's like this Lucifer, the Satan character.
The same being as what?
As it is now. It's not the same being.
I don't understand what you mean of the same.
Well, let's go back to the story. Once upon a time, there was God, and he's all good and wonderful. And then there is his nemesis, and he is bad. Well, how long ago was that?
No, you have to explain. What I'm asking you is, I don't understand what you mean as being the same being as what?
Right. Well, he was called Satan, but maybe his name was Bob.
But the same being as who?
Well, once upon a time, there was this guy, and he was an angel. He's made by God. He's called Bob. And then he goes against God, and he's given the name Satan. Well, Bob has to pay the karma for that. He has to suffer the consequence of going against Source. So all those millennia, eons of time, I tell you, Bob has had a fucking terrible time. And Bob has come to the light. And Bob has become a light worker. But Satan is still there. Well, that's because after Bob went off and started straightening himself out, someone else volunteered to be a Bob. So these beings, there is consequence. And they have to carry that. The pain, the guilt, the trauma, that's their journey. and they will heal. And how long will that take? Will it take a lifetime? Certainly not. It certainly won't happen in a lifetime. Will it take 100 lifetimes? I don't know. I'm sure some journeying forward, some healing can happen in the space of 100 lifetimes. Maybe in 1,000 lifetimes. In 100,000 lifetimes, does the person become rehabilitated? Does that being who has been involved in slaving a planet, do they have the opportunity to come to the light? Certainly. They do. Is that understandable or clear?
What I understood that you said is there was a guy who became Satan, and when he steps aside, somebody else fills in his shoes. No?
Yeah, the Bob
Sure.
model. The Bob model, totally. I did understand. I think that was well said. Both of you.
Because Satan, like you, is another God fractal. And like you, and like me, has light and shadow. And like you, and like me, can make good choices and bad choices. And like you, and like me, can expand. And like you, and like me, can make wrong choices and contract and cause some pain. And then be responsible for that. And then one has to do something to put that right, to heal it, because someone else can't.
I don't know, Dennis. I don't know if I like that analogy, because my understanding is that the angel Lucifer fell from heaven because he thought himself better than God.
Absolutely. That's correct.
Yeah, but that's not like you and like me. I don't think myself better than God.
No, but maybe you think yourself better than Mary. You know?
Well,
Maybe you think yourself better
I
than your
don't.
neighbor's
I don't
dog.
think that. I don't perceive that the activities that Lucifer has been up to ever since he fell from heaven parallel any of our bad choices, because many times our bad choices harm ourselves only, and usually Lucifer's bad choices, harm millions of others.
Right.
Anyway, I question the analogy. That's all. And Amira's had her hand up for some time now. I don't know if you're ready to see what she wants to know.
Do you want to say more about your analogy?
No, I am not, well, like what I'm saying is not an analogy. What I'm saying is there is, because this comes with, the evil, what will happen to them? They'll be destroyed, they'll be sent away, they'll be turned into a boulder. And all these things, are possible. The destruction isn't possible, but, they can be in conditions for a long time, and those conditions can be very uncomfortable. But they are, like we are, responsible for our lives, our actions. And when one is harmed, all are harmed. When we harm another, we're harming ourselves. And then they have that amount of evil and that amount of trauma to deal with. And is it easy to do? No. Does it take a long time? Usually, yes, it can take a very, very long time. But there is no being that does not have the opportunity in infinity to come to balance and healing and harmony. And if you do not wish that opportunity on any being, then that is a little darkness in you that deserves a little looking at. Another issue, separate issue, is when we come to recognize ourselves, and this is separate, when we come to recognize ourselves as being fractal of source, which by necessity means that we are infinite. Then when good things happen to us, it isn't good luck. We can use that phrase, but rather it is something that you are creating and that you are deserving. And you go, oh, Dennis, that's a lovely message. Thank you very much. Well, okay. But the other side of the message isn't so nice, because I say to you that you are God being. You are not a marble in some elaborate game. You're not a target in shooting practice. You're not a lemming. You are God being, creator being. And because there is so much divine power that dwells in you, there is nothing that can be pushed on you without you creating it or without you allowing it. Because within you is all that is, source. So when bad things happen, there is, like, why would they be allowed by you, the God being? Why do you allow it? Oh, there's a question. There's a tricky question. Because it's so much easier to put it up to the bearded guy in the heavens and go, why are you allowing it? Well, why am I allowing it? What is in the blueprint? For what reason would you have chosen to reincarnate again, come back into this realm of earth, and choose to have some of the challenging experiences that you are choosing? What is the karma that you're looking to clean up? What are the lessons you're looking to teach? What are the skills you're looking to learn? What is the blessing that you want to give yourself or others? And this message of truth can be horrendous to people. Most people cannot face it at all.
Would I be able to speak now?
Yeah.
Or are you still Okay,
No.
one thing, Dennis, you are so wise beyond, I don't know, like you are one of the most wisest, intelligent man I've ever met. Honest to God, I'm not joking. You are like, I don't know how to explain, like so highly, highly intelligent. and wise. I guess just wise. Like I don't know. I don't know how to explain, but you're one of the most wisest, intelligent beings I've ever met. Now, my question is, yeah, I heard I listened to Paul Wallace in The Fifth Kind and also Michael Salla, but I think P Paul Wallace did a podcast where that they did a one with Michael Tellinger, and Michael was saying that he's found like claws and it looked like reptoid skin, and he was saying all the unusual things that he's in South Africa that he would find, and so yeah, I know about that. But my question is, okay, so in the 6 months it'll be removed and everything. What will now happen to the earth
That's
if
not
when
that's not what they said. So it's just to clarify, not just for you, Amira, but also for other people. It is a process. It's a process. So not everything will happen in the 6 months, but it's a process. But the 6 month is huge.
okay,
It's
but will
like a
things
clock.
start getting
Well, you
like
can
it's
see the
starting?
hands move,
Yes.
and there's the second hand move. You see the clock move.
Which,
So
which
in
Right,
six
but I'm
months'
saying
time,
when they're removed, when they'll
we
be removed
let me just
slowly.
add, let me just add that when I was channeling, I was seeing it.
Sorry.
It's okay, darling. When I was channeling, I was, and this is also to let Dennis know as well, but when I was channeling, I was seeing an image of a clock. That's how they were showing me. So over to you, Dennis.
Mm,
Which I just wanted to mention that because it's very interesting that Dennis picked up on that or saw it and is talking about it. So it just goes to show how in sync we are when I'm channeling. That's my point.
right, but like
So
I said, there'll be less corruption and trafficking and stuff when it starts to happen, like going down and down and down. I know it's a process, but
yeah,
that's what I was.
just uh, it's just a moment in the cycle of existence in our history where
Mhm.
could expect to see there will be some change,
Good.
and that so it's just like it's a movement one can see, but it's not necessarily, it's not that it's hitting magic hour of 12 o'clock and completion. No,
Oh,
but rather it's just that there's some confirmation of advancement, of movement, of change.
okay.
But that's all.
Another thing you said about Jesus, we all have the blood of Jesus. Now, I have a big M. Veronica told me I have two big M markings on my hand. You could see it from far away. So Veronica says that means you're from the Merovingian line. Merovingian line goes back to Mary and Jesus. But Soma, how did you pick up? I always felt like I was Jesus or I was a part of him. So I just wanted you to clarify that. And thank you so much.
Well, that may be that you're part of the Jesus line, but I don't know why people get so excited about this because, we look in our history and Jesus was 2000 years ago, but your history goes beyond 200 million years. So why the fuck are you getting so excited about 2000 years ago? I don't get it.
I don't know why is one, but I don't know. I feel close to Mother Mary. That's it.
Well, it's sweet. That's fine. I don't mean to
yes, I find that funny as well, dear.
be harsh on you, but it's like so many Christians get caught up in this thing of Jesus loves me. It's like, well, why wouldn't he? Aren't we brother and sister? And
That's what I look at him as. Yeah, like a brother. And no, you're not harsh. I rather you, my closest friend, tell they're hard like cactus. I rather you be yourself. I rather you tell honest truth. We're good. So you're
that's
good.
cool. Yeah. So, you know, here we are, and we're as wise as we are, and we're as stupid as we are, and we're learning the lessons that we are. And this all began a long time ago, and it didn't begin when you were born, and it didn't begin on this planet. You didn't begin on this planet. And you've had many beginnings. And the first beginning you have is your union with Source.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Dennis, if I could touch on something you brought up about not being willing to accept, instead of blaming the man upstairs, where are you? I forgot how your wording was, but where are we responsible for it? And I found myself on my walk today just suddenly blurting out, I do not consent to all the toxins in the water. I do not consent to the chemicals in the sky. And I just went on and on. And it just kind of resonated with me that you had said that, like, oh, maybe that's part of just stepping up and just recognizing, no, I do not consent to this anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense. And you see, that prayer that I love, the Ho'oponopono, that's a prayer that makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense. Shit happens to you and others are causing you pain, and then you end up saying, I love you, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you. It makes no sense. It makes no sense if you're just human. It makes no sense if you're a lemming. Where it makes sense is when you are I am presence. It makes sense when you are intimately connected to the divine and the all that is. Now it makes sense because you are connected to the whole plan. You are connected to this other person who is causing hurt. You are connected to their history.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the Ho'oponopono. I was attempting it this past week with several people, as some of you know in the chat. And I found it very difficult. I just couldn't get past the first words. So I'm still sitting with it. Just to say I love you.
Yes.
Wow. I just noticed
what happens when you're doing this is it brings up so much need to work on yourself. That's what comes up. Because you're saying over there about Christy Clark, the terrible fellow, and you're going, I love you. And you have a huge problem with that because Christy's so terrible. Well,
you're
so now
me up today.
Only joking, Christy, of course. But you pick someone and you go, oh, they're terrible. And so now you have a buildup of emotions in you and a buildup of thoughts in you that are uncomfortable and that are burdening and very uncomfortable. So now you have to bring it to yourself. You have to give love to yourself. You have to give love to your inner child. You have to give love to your emotions that are hurt and give them a hug. You have to give love to yourself. And then this calms down because you have managed to give some healing and love. And now, next day, you do it and you can make a little bit of progress, and then stuff will build up in you again. And you find, oh, now the thing that I need to give the love to is me, always.
And a good technique to do that is to look in the mirror and look in your eyes and take a few moments to do it and say to yourself, while you're looking in the mirror in your eyes, say to yourself, I love you. And repeat it.
I used to do that, and it was really remarkable. Thank you for bringing that one up again. Yeah, it's
Start with
interesting.
that, dear.
What's that?
Start with that.
Yeah.
Start doing it again.
Yeah, thank you. And if you guys haven't tried it, wow, it's quite a confront.
Any questions? I just want to clarify that when I was channeling, I didn't see the negative ETs being turned into rocks, but I saw rocks in the same space as them.
Is it possible to stop the analyzer?
Chris, you ask, is it possible to stop the analyzing, is it?
Is it possible to stop the analyzer?
To stop
That's
what?
not directed.
We can't
That's
really
not
hear you,
directed to-
Christy.
I said, is it possible to stop the analyzer?
To stop what?
The analyzer or analyzing.
Yes.
Yes.
Stop
Stop
analyzing.
the analyzer. So what happens when you stop the analyzer? You deflate the ego. So when we deflate the ego, what happens? Is it possible in this reality? Because everyone is trying to find enlightenment. From what I'm getting from this conversation, everybody is trying to get there, not realizing that they're actually there now. There's nowhere to go. You're actually there. You've found it. But the problem is that you're caught up in the circles of your mind. And the analyzer keeps catching you all the time. So when we speak about love, how do you describe the fragrance of a rose? And that's not a trick question. How does one describe the fragrance of a rose? It's so beautiful, it's undescribable. So is it actually possible to get to that point? Or do I allow the analyzer to come back in and question the fragrance of the rose? So what I'm trying to figure out is that when am I ready to stop suffering? When do I want the suffering to stop? Or do I want to hang on throughout this incarnation and continue playing with my irrational thoughts that continue to take me down this rabbit hole? And we continue to look outside of ourselves because we haven't accepted the truth. And the truth is, Christy, you are the problem. It's not about anybody else. It's about accepting who you are. And that's the problem the collective face on a day-to-day basis. We continue to pass the problem to each other. Here you go, Christy, play with that problem and tell me what you feel, think. Oh yeah, that's an interesting problem. I'm sick of it. Can I pass it on to you and let you play with it? So we go around in this circle trying to understand self. It's a really interesting conversation, really. I'm finding it really interesting, the different concepts of really, did God forgive Hitler? Which was interesting because that question was asked, I remember, a few years ago. And a human asked an ascended master in a channeling session, was Hitler forgiven? And the answer was he was forgiven. So, what does that actually mean? I mean, we're all aware that Hitler went to Argentina and he got off the hook and he lived a happy life and he passed over and, he asked for forgiveness on the other side. What's the end result in that process, that situation? But what I've learned is that we continue to look on the outside, really. And by looking on the outside, we have an excuse. I'm feeling this way because of you, Christy. I've allowed you to control my emotional state. I've given you the volume button again. I'm allowing you to change the stations to bring me into a positive mood or a negative mood. And that's the game. That's the duality that we're in at the moment. So finding peace is quite difficult because we allow the thoughts to creep in. And when the thoughts come in, we start this psychological war with self. I want to be a victim today, so I have to blame somebody else. And when we find somebody else, as I call it, emotional puke that's buried in our subconscious, and it's layers upon layers and layers upon layers of suffering in this reality from what we've witnessed. So as I continue to say, and I'll continue to say as long as I'm in this vessel, we've all been fractured in this reality, but whose problem is it?
It's yours, Chris.
We've all been hurt in some shape or form. Thanks very much, Thomas, for the update. You're bang on in that one. So when do we get to that point where we realize, can I switch this off? Can I switch this off? Like, can I stop thinking for a short period of time, which will allow me to go to that space of nothingness, the space between words, nothingness? What happens in that void where we get to that place of nothingness? Yeah, we can probably sense it.
Oh, God.
But the human existence will pull us back out of us into the thought process that we play with on a day-to-day basis. If it's not the Epstein files, it's Trump. If it's not Trump, it's the war in the Middle East. If it's not the war in the Middle East, it's religion. And we could go on and on and on and on and on and on the hamster wheel. That's the bottom line. So finding this place of nothingness is quite difficult, really, because of our conditioning. And we've all attempted, excuse me, I'm not actually crying, there's actually salt in my eyes and they're watering. Bringing myself back to the child mind state is actually key for me. And that's deleting the program, removing the program and bringing myself back to the child mind state where I'm completely free. I'm completely free of all my insecurity, all my thoughts. I'm just in the present. I'm just now. But we're all aware as to how we've been conditioned. Friendships, relationships, food, materialistic things, attachments, sex. We could go on and on and on and on. And that is why we have chosen, as Dennis touched on, we come in to have this human experience. Why do we keep coming back in? Is it to graduate and move up another level until we eventually find enlightenment, either in this reality or somewhere out in the universe? I think it's an amazing topic, and I have to be honest, sometimes I get really confused. I had to write these questions down to bring them to Ranturas. And Because, you know, when we develop a relationship with beings outside of this reality, which we all have, like, and we're tapping into that awareness and we're connecting to our higher self, or whoever you're attracted to in other realms, like, you know, sometimes it's difficult because there's an aspect of me wants to go there. I want to go there. You know, there's days I want to go back to a ship. I want to go back into another realm. You know, and sometimes that's difficult to accept because it's like they've given me so much, but they're saying you have to finish the contract out in this reality. It's one of the agreements you had coming in. Really? Yes, you had that agreement sadly coming in. We've just popped in now to give you a little nudge to wake you up, to remind you of something within yourself, not out there, within yourself. So put the focus back there, Christy, and see where it takes you. As Ranturis had said to me, and I leave it here 10 years ago, he said, you're going to have to do the push-ups. And that was when he asked me, one of the questions, are you ready? And I went, ready? Ready for what? Well, if you want to take this to the next level, we need to ask you this question. And when I said yes, oh yeah, I'm ready. My ego again, I'm ready. Let's bring it on. You know, well, he says, okay, you're going to have to remove the pantry in the kitchen. Like, you're going to have to start doing the push-ups because we're not coming down to you. You're coming up to us. So what does that mean? It means me trying to raise my frequency and vibration to a certain point where I understand that anything outside of myself is actually part of me. That's really, really difficult to accept when one has suffered in this reality. It's back again to, am I a victim? You know, so it's quite complex, it's quite challenging, and it is amazing. There's no doubt about it. It is amazing. And it's even more exciting when you have a relationship with these high dimensional beings, which is really interesting, like, as Dennis commented earlier on, you know, we were them, and they know that. We came down into a third dimension to try and find our way back. Back to where? Back to self. And understanding that you can make a big difference, Christy, in this reality if you understand yourself. If you understand yourself. Trying to love yourself sometimes is really, really difficult because we're caught in that reality of, you know, what is love? What happens when I fall in love? What happens when I fall out of love? What does that actually mean? Or does it mean anything? Really interesting conversation. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. And I really enjoyed everyone sharing here tonight because it got me to that place where I wanted to express something within myself again. This is not about anybody in the room. It's about me. About me trying to understand who I am. It's not about Rantura. He wants me to enjoy the human experience before I go back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have another question about the hamster wheel, and I don't know if anyone has the answer, but you know, the hamster wheel of the Trump story and the Epstein story and the war between religions and the war between white and black and all that. I look at that as a parallel reality. I don't look at that as my reality. Although it's taken me a long time to come to see it as like an imposed reality on us. We either buy into it or we don't buy into it. But then, you know, I wanted, as I listened to Christy talk and as I listened to Dennis before that, I was thinking, well, what about What about when you are truly confronted with someone dark and evil who is imposing on you unwanted energy, let's put it that way, unwanted energy, and you are trying to deflect it, not because you perceive yourself as a victim, but because you perceive an injustice and because it clutters you. These daggers from another being, these these darker vibrations from another being. So I'm speaking from personal experience. I didn't perceive myself to be a victim. I was warned that there was darkness around me and maybe spells on me and things like that. And I didn't understand that at all. Maybe only until yesterday, the day before, I finally understood what these people were talking about. But it took me 20 years, to come to understanding. But
Well done.
I didn't invite that because of a state of victimhood. It was rather, I think it was rather, I think it was my light that they were trying to extinguish. And it required fighting back. Okay, thanks, Soma. But I don't know if anyone
So
has.
Christy as well is nodding.
Yeah, Christy is nodding. Thank you, Christy.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
sometimes,
separate from a situation where you might perceive yourself to be a victim. That is something very real, though.
exactly. So
Yeah.
there you are. There's real situations in the physical universe where someone is being damaged, threatened, hurt, and some of these situations require uh, immediate and strong action. And it might be taking the person's head off is the right thing to do.
I wish.
Well, you know.
You're making me laugh.
It's a lesson for us to become more self-empowered. That is part of their job, and that is part of our job to become more self-empowered.
In this situation, though, Soma, well, I mean, it's not over yet, I suppose, but I mean, I could say initially it didn't end well for me. though I, though I worked very much at asserting my personal power and whatever space.
I have had certain things happen to me in my life that have happened over and over and over and over and over again because I wasn't learning the lesson. Once we learn lessons, there's no reason for that energy. Thank you. There's no reason for that energy to continue. Once we break cycles, the cycle ends, whatever it is, or the pattern, or the repetition, or the. Christy, do you want to say anything about that? Or Dennis?
Makes some sense.
Removing belief systems is quite difficult, really. It's again all got to do with our makeup, and it comes from generations. And this is my theory on it. And we take it on in this incarnation because we have suffered. Why have we suffered? That's the big question.
On the grander scheme of things, in there is no suffering. On the highest level, there is no suffering. It's just God experiencing himself or herself. It's all just an experience God has separated into smaller fragments of himself or herself or themselves to experience all that is. And we are part of that. We are fractals of Source, God, of the great I am, here to experience everything.
That certainly explains all the different lifetimes, all the different presentations and all the different lifetimes.
It's flying high on it.
What's flying high?
That view level. Yeah,
That's where I'm coming from.
sometimes.
Always, darling. Always. Every second. Yeah.
It's funny how it doesn't, the phrase just an experiences certainly minimizes some of the psychological and emotional challenges of it. That's kind of, it's not just an experience, but an experience for sure.
What I'm noticing is the short spells of stillness in this call here, which has just happened in the last minute or two. I can sense the change in vibration within myself and within the room. It's happening now.
What's happening, Christy?
There are silences.
In the silence, there's a change of vibration and frequency within the room. Now,
Please.
I'm picking her up. I'm not sure if you're picking her up or anybody is picking her up, but I'm certainly picking her up. And the conversation is very enriching, and it's very open, and it's very raw. But when the silence comes back into the room, it's interesting what happened.
I see that too.
Yeah.
Please explain, Christy. Or please share more.
No, I can explain it.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think, yeah, please go ahead now.
So there are a lot of interesting subjects that have been brought up, and there are points of view that are shared, and there's no expectation that everyone would be in agreement with points of view that are shared. And so there can be some learning, there can be some agreement, and there can be some disagreement. Yet, when people speak, there are moments after where there is a silence. And I see that as Christy sees it. And it is very interesting. There isn't a clamour to argue. There isn't a rush to make someone wrong. People are able to, I just see that silence as being very interesting. People don't necessarily have to ask a question to explain something. They don't have to disagree with something. They don't have to say, oh, you're right, so that means I'm right, or I'm right, so you're right. And so there's all these differences that happen in that silence. And it allows also a change, an integration, and it allows acceptance of difference. I am just agreeing with Christy that the silences are significant, and I think they are important, and they show something powerful that is happening there.
I believe there is another aspect of ourselves that we're tapping into. not just after we verbalize something. Because there's an energy, there's a frequency, there's a vibration in our language. How we pronounce the sentence, how we pronounce the word. So when we allow ourselves to go into that silence, we tap into another aspect of ourselves that's actually calling from another reality. When you're ready, Christy, I'm here. And going into silence is an opportunity to find that place. And some of us are comfortable and some of us are uncomfortable within that space. Mm. So if you just reflect before the call in, where the conversation has taken us and what we've gained from the conversation or what we've taken from the conversation and deleted the rest. Being able to understand that sometimes is difficult rather than just being the observer. Just be the observer, Christy, and watch what happens. Is there a need to bring dialogue into the conversation? Is there a dialogue going on in the silence? Really interesting.
Now I will dare break up that holy silence and say, is there someone else who has something to share or have a question? I think we'll probably close soon.
90% of communication, thank you, Dennis. Sorry if I interrupted you. 90% of communication is unspoken. Yeah, we love you, baby. Save it for later.
Agree with the Soma. Body language is amazing. And we're all experts at that. We like to play that game.
You guys are so cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Really?
So
Sorry, go ahead.
well, no, I've been very irritable. Like I've been very irritable the last few days where I kind of had not my bosses were correcting me, but I felt they were wrong, but I don't know. But I just like yesterday they were correcting me and I said, "Look, I need a break," because I started to get almost overstimulating, and I I needed a break, and I don't know. But anyways, they were complaining, and I said, "Okay, I'll do it." I'm like, I don't, and I said, "I'm not talking to you guys and everything." I calmed down, but the last few days at work, and even now, I've been irritable. I get sometimes rude to people. I've been irritated. And so I'm like, what's up in the stars? What's going on? Like, I was just different, really crabby. And every day at 3 o'clock, I get very crabby. And then, yes, Wednesday, No, yeah. Thursday I got called in. I working, and then around 2:22, I was alone. I was working. It was around 2:22 in the afternoon, and I heard two ringings in my right ear. It's like, the ringing, the sound, the dee. I heard it one time, and then it came back again. So I just want to know what's all that. What is all of that? Thank you.
Who knows? It's all very interesting. So what are you going to do about it, Amira?
Well, I look into myself and see what's wrong, but I'm like, I always look into myself. Okay, what did I do to make this person upset? Or what did I do? Like, like my bosses, right? We're all good. It's just I was irritated at myself because, and then I let it out to them. Um, but I try to improve. I don't know. I look within myself to see what did I do, you know, and I feel bad. And then I always apologize. Like I always try to make things right away. So that's what I do.
Right. Well, give honor, respect, and love to yourself. And give honor and respect to the Aegis you're working with. Keep doing that.
Yeah, I always will do that. We're all good. I've made a couple of good coworker friends, and there's even a guy that I'm interested in that we're taking things slow. We're becoming friends, and so I might have found my partner, and I made friends. I'm always honorable to everybody.
Yeah. Say to the
Absolutely.
Aegis because I want to make sure you include them in that. Don't withhold honor and
No way.
respect to
No way.
anyone, but there are those who clearly deserve it and give it, and then others
Right.
also.
Absolutely. That's what I do.
But if they're not nice, you don't have to share your lunch with them.
No, I know. I just keep a distance. But anyways, yeah, that's right. And like I said, you're a very, very wise and intelligent man. You and Christy, you guys are like I can't put it into words. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, yeah. You have to get an awful lot wrong to be able to get here. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. What time is it? This
Let's have a look.
10.
Yes, it is 10 o'clock now.
Oh.
So yeah. I want to thank everyone. Really. Oh dear, you have a raised hand. Go ahead, darling.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys something when you stop recording.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so thank you everyone for this evening. Let me see, what do I need to say or share? If you'd like to join this group, come and sign up to my Substack, Soma Ara,
.love.
No, sorry, Substack is just Soma Ara, but my website is somaara.love. I do readings. I'm not only a Pleiadian channel, I'm also a psychic medium. So I do psychic medium readings for regular, normal people. I don't like using those words, but I don't know what else to call them. But if you're married down the road and you're wanting to connect in with a loved one or a partner in spirit or family member in spirit, I do those readings as well. So you can get one of those on my website, which is somaara.love. And I've also just joined a guy in Ireland called Adrian.
Too early to speak about it.
Okay, too early to speak about it. So there'll be announcements made soon enough. To do with a new booking system. Anyway, come and get a reading with me, and I'll see you all soon.